Hi, welcome. I'm Trevor E.S. Smith. I'm with the Success with People Academy. And today we deal with the issue of how teens are suffering now from earlier hiring practices. Whoa. Why is this so important? It is important because we have teams and certainly team members who are still out of sync, who are having a challenge coping with the new environment. We talk about it. Be with me as we go into this live cast. We won't be long. Stick around. There are some unique insights that we want to share with you. And as usual, we are focused on providing solutions. We don't only want to examine issues and challenges, we want to provide answers. So let's go. Let's look at the agenda then for our brief live cast. We want to look at the context for this dialogue. We want to look at pre-pandemic hiring philosophy and the practices that came along with that philosophy. We want to look at some built-in biases that are now being manifested and showing up like sore thumbs today. We want to look at the hurdles that certain individuals with a preference for given behavioral styles have, the challenges that they have actually getting selected in the hiring process. Then we want to look at our team maps and the insights and the implications of what we are seeing from our team maps. And then, of course, what next? Now what? And the bottom line. What is it that we can and should do? This is a live cast. You're not able to speak to me, but you can, in fact, type your input in the chat. As I get excited and get deep into my presentation, sometimes I forget to look at the chat. But today I'm going to try to be a little bit more disciplined, and I have colleagues on with me who will, in fact, highlight the input. So please, if you have been here before and made a comment and I didn't pay attention, I apologize. And now I would like to invite you to share, because this is an important discussion. All right, so let's go. Many teams are struggling to cope with the change environment. We have to understand that in many organizations, you prepare your medium-term plan and you work to execute it. And some of the things that you try to do is to avoid disruption. You don't want people to be deviating. You don't want to end up with a situation where you're changing the goalposts ever so often. And so that was the pre-disruption, the pre-pandemic situation. And so what's the status today? We have some of them here. Our team just has not got it together since the pandemic and the changes that it has brought. We just have not settled. We just have not got our mojo back. Then, if our sector is going to be disrupted, we will be on the receiving end, not the mover and the shaker. We are not set up to be disruptors. Yeah, we are well equipped to manage the status quo and to sustain our growth. But disruption, that's not us. Frankly, we are set up to maintain the status quo and to avoid rocking the boat. We have a good thing going, and if we maintain it, that's fine. We're not here to overthrow anything. We just want to continue steadily along. That's a philosophy. That's a philosophy that has worked. So the question that we have now is why? These teams are well equipped with skilled professionals. Why are they faring so badly in the face of this disruptive change? What is at the core? What underpins this challenge? I think one clue is to examine recruitment and selection practices that came from an earlier philosophy about talent acquisition. Let's look at it. So, I want to put up a disclaimer. I have my HR professionals who are recruiters, and I'm saying some of the things that we will share here today does not apply to all talent acquisition units. Yes, so there are and were forward-looking talent acquisition units. However, believe me, what I'm sharing today is not a figment of my imagination. And I have data, um, evidence to share. So let's be honest. Um, Certainly, pre-COVID and pre this tendency towards disruption, uh, talent acquisition teams tended to be risk averse, and maybe they still are. Yes, who wants to make a bad hire? We have sent out information to show you the cost of a bad hire. So you want to err on the side of caution. Why take a chance? There are so many, well, they were, maybe now it's tighter. There are so many applicants. Why take the chance? And so there is a certain bias towards being conservative in terms of our hiring. I think that's a reasonable position, and it's understandable. So they wanted to hire people who are going to fit in nicely, follow the rules, and just work, just complete your assignments as to the best of your ability, on time, and with high quality. That's it. Nothing wrong with that. And so they were not keen to take the chance on some outlier, some Trevor Smith that comes in and, yeah, a little bit edgy and not so sure as to what it is, but he seems smart and dynamic. Maybe not. Maybe not. It might turn out to be a star, but why take the chance? So, in addition, most organizations were committed to designing medium-term strategic plans and sticking close to them pre-pandemic, and of course, uh, outside of the pressure of this whole tendency towards um, seeking to disrupt industries. That was a good strategy. Plan carefully and execute your plan. Nothing wrong with that. However, all this manifested in hiring practices that were heavily biased in favor of more conservative candidates. We wanted people who would fit in, who would do the job, who wouldn't cause any problems, and who would just try to find themselves fitting into the corporate culture. That's what we were looking for. We weren't looking for outliers. Okay, so let me look at examples of the built-in bias that I'm talking about. So we have this discerning model of communication and leadership that we use to examine a lot of these issues. And what we have found is that the C style and the S style candidates stood a far better chance of being hired than their D style and especially their I style co-applicants. So given us, of course, given similar experience and qualifications, that is, the C style candidates, conscientiousness, their compliance orientation, their cautious outlook, they just seem to be a safer bet. Yeah, we're not going to have problems with people who are careful, who are cautious, yeah, who are compliance wanting, who have a tendency towards critical thinking, who are conscientious, want to be correct, and are conforming, consistent. those are people that we want in the organization, and nothing wrong with that. So that's a plus. We want these kinds of people in our organization, and we still want them today. Okay, but let's talk a little bit further. So also, when we look at our S style candidates, I like to talk about that as this is where the milk of human kindness flows. These are peaceful, quiet individuals, want to get along with everybody, very supportive, um, selfless, self-sacrificing, really service oriented, and you can sense stability. And yeah, this is the kind of person that I would want to meet up in the lunchroom and to have, working with me. Yeah, people tend to hire people that they like. Who wants to have somebody that they don't want to see coming along the corridor? Nobody wants to do that. So yes, the S style is a beautiful fit. This is the teacher's pet. This is someone who is going to make peace in the organization, right? So these, given again, like levels of qualification and experience, these people have the edge. So what about Trevor D, who comes in, swag, confident, very assured. Maybe is he too assured? Is he kind of a little overconfident? So there's a sidebar here that confidence can be unsettling for some people. Yeah, too much confidence brings across a feeling of edginess. Not so sure about how to handle this one. So the thinking might be, this looks like the kind of person that, once they get comfortable and settle in and know the lay of the land, they might start to challenge the status quo and start to march to their own drumbeat. We have been hiring people for a long time. We have seen this type. We know you remember so and so, and yeah. Do we want to run the risk of this daring individual? What about his communication? Where he says it's direct, or she said it's direct, but some people find it a little bit maybe too pushy. What about that tendency towards my way? We need to have it now. What about the defiance? Do we want to have that on board right now? Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe there's a safer bet. So that's what happens with our D style. Then the I style candidate. What do you think about our I style? Oh, lot of fun, really engaging, nice person, but I'm not so sure. A little bit seem to be deeply into innovation and creativity. Just kind of wonder, how more straight-laced we are and how formal our situation is. Just wondering. So yeah, nice person and seem, quite all right, but maybe we need to keep her information so that when a job that fits her style comes up, we can talk to her. Missed it again, my I style Trevor. All right. This is not hocus pocus. This is reality that I'm sharing with you today. And so at the end, these are the maps that I see today, this similar, as we look at the right side, our 4-quadrant map from the extended disk international, where we see change, renewal, innovation, creativity. Those are right-sided things. But the key of this organization, because that's the map. The red zone is where the behavioral styles, the greatest level of comfort resides. And the gray areas are areas that the team is comfortable in. The white areas are areas that they struggle. Well, not struggle, but they have to use more energy. It requires more focus for them to perform, display these behaviors. So, as we can see, results driven, being driven, the whole question of change, renewal, creating ideas, that's missing. I see a lot of maps like this that are heavily skewed to the left and are kind of weak on the right. And that's where the challenge comes in, because if you think about change readiness, if you think about creativity, resilience in the environment that we're currently facing, teams that are structured like the one on the right are struggling, are having problems. That's what I'm seeing time and time again. When I do individual maps, I see the individual has a structure like this. I see the team has a structure like this, where they are great at system structure, following through, making sure that things are done, making sure that things are done on time. So in terms of efficiency, absolutely no problem. But in terms of innovation, in terms of future readiness, in terms of initiating change, there is a disconnect. There is a, well, people have to be trying to adjust to those new realities. Yeah. So, by the way, this when we set up ourselves then, as we have in the past, to focus more on reliability, on making sure that we are efficient, we might be missing something in this new environment where change is the norm and success will come from being the initiator of change as against responding to change. That's in essence resilience in its true form. And so when you have a hiring practice and philosophy that excludes individuals to whom change and disruption and initiation and creativity come naturally, you have a problem. If we look at it, this is a D style set of characteristics. Want to initiate action, decisive, make swift decisions. Yes, want to challenge the status quo. No matter how well we are doing, we can do better. Right? Yes, they might want to take authority and so on. So those are some of the challenges that we might have. See themselves as problem solvers. So there is some trade-off. You are going to have some, maybe discomfort in terms of challenging how things have been done and how things ought to be done and the pace at which you move. But is that what your competitors are doing? Are they coming to say, I'm not waiting until Trevor's organization is ready for the change. I am initiating the change. I might not have all the answers. I might not have dotted all the I's and crossed all the T's, but I'm moving because the first mover advantage is important. That's what is happening. And so we need to look at our trading, our hiring practices if we are going to be comfortable going forward. I'm going to take a look at my chat if there's anybody that thinks that this is hocus pocus or can understand that this is a reality. Yeah, okay. Not seen anything yet, but just inviting you to join us via chat. Okay, so let's look at the now what. As I said, we would like to look at solutions. So we have to adjust. Definitely, I mean, some kind of um, philosophical change has to be communicated. That we need to now give increasing credit, increasing access to individuals who might have been on the edge, and you have a little concern as to how neatly they will fit into culture and practices. We need to look at some of those to see if those persons could assist us in being more resilient in our change readiness. But what we're going to do with the people that we have, we can't just throw them out. So one answer, of course, is to invest heavily in programs that address issues like change management. I think basically almost every team needs to go through some kind of a change management, innovation and creativity, critical thinking kind of course. That's part of what we do in our leadership development program. And we have those courses in a solid leadership development program that's available online. So we can talk about that as well. But there's a but. First, know thyself. That's a basic principle. Yeah. I need to understand myself before I can go to seek to understand others and to be functional. And so that's what the team needs to do. We need to do diagnostics. We want to look at it like, for example, achieving results with and through people. And so we have the team. How does Amy cope as against the others? This is what we need to look at to see then how teams function effectively. So that's the match that we can do to see if we can understand ourselves better. What behaviors are comfortable for which individuals and for the team as a whole? What is the makeup of the team behaviorally? How are team members aligned to their task? That's the problem. Sometimes we have a situation where an individual who is sort of inward looking, reserved, tasked to almost, be right up front with strangers, with new people. That's not so easy. Of course, we have to stretch ourselves at times, but let us look at how easy it would be for you to use your less preferred hand all day. I like to use that example because that's what many people are doing. They are functioning behaviorally in areas that are as far as the east is to the west from who they are naturally. And that's not healthy because eventually they're going to be worn out. So who are we individually and as a team? Teams need behavioral diagnostics to lay the foundation. That's the starting point. Know thyself. So if we do the diagnostics on the team, we can understand where we are as a team. Are we oriented towards the results that are required? Are we operating totally outside of our comfort zone? Yes, I know. In terms of development, people need to move out of their comfort zone. You understand that? All right. But let us see how well aligned the team is and whether there is an answer. So here's a suggestion. 10 minutes. That's what it takes. 7 to 10 minutes to complete a behavioral assessment. Right? Online. Send you a link. The individual sends 7 to 10 minutes to complete the extended behavioral DNA questionnaire. Yeah. We get the responses. We do all of the team dynamics, all of the maps and all of the team reports. We send out the individual extended this behavioral DNA report to the individuals. We send the team maps and the team diagnostics to the sponsors, the team leader, and then we schedule. We schedule a session. It can be as little as like 4 hours online, and we go through the debriefing and the coaching. And in that session, that's when you start to hear, man, now I understand. So that is why. Those are the things that are important, because now we're unlocking information that's not available from any other source. I don't care how long you are in the team or with the team and how discerning you are. There are insights that come from the behavioral DNA assessments that cannot be identified elsewhere. And so that's what we're suggesting. We can work out the cost. You'll be surprised at how little it costs and the time that's involved. As I said, each individual, 7 to 10 minutes, complete the assessment online. We take it from there. We schedule a time. We come together online, cameras on ideally, and we go through each individual report and we look at the team dynamics. Then, of course, that's a start. We can actually then do further work to help to unlock, the hidden factors that you're not able to see. Send me an email at info@successwithpeople.org, or just let's cut to the chase. Click this link. It's meetings.hubspot.com/Trevor-Smith4. And we just set up a meeting, set up a Zoom meeting right away, and we can just start. No commitments. Let's do it. All right. Okay. So, as I said, we are with the Success with People Academy, and we empower individuals, their teams, and of course the whole organization. Our focus is on human capacity development. We want to make, it sounds funny, but we want to make people more effective. We want to make people better. Yeah, sounds bad. But yeah, that's what we try to do, to see how can we improve individuals and their teams and their organization. And we infuse a lot of technology. People probably know us more for our technology. And we also have this really powerful model, the discerning model of communication and leadership. That's built around the DISC concept. We have actually built a lot on DISC to get to a place where we have a model that makes sense. We actually teach people this language of behaviors. It makes a huge difference in terms of communication in their teams. And so we also, if you want to hire or just do the team maps, we are a franchise holder for Extended DISC. And so we offer these leading edge behavioral DNA assessments on the Revolutionary Things platform. And by the way, we are SHRM recertification provider, which means that our programs offer professional development credits that can be applied to SHRM, CP, and SCP recertification, which means really that we have some kind of validity to what it is that we do. So again, I'm saying, let's take some action. Just have a conversation. Won't hurt you, no risk. and we can make a difference to you and to your team. And if you have any questions, any comments, just ask you, send an email to info@successwithpeople.org. All right. So that's it. Like to get it done quickly so that we don't keep you too long. And we will actually send out recording so that you can share it to your team members. But take action. Let us have a conversation. Thanks. I'm Trevor E.S. Smith. I'm with the Success with People Academy.